My main problem coming to Juneau through the transition was time management. Having the freedom to do what you really wanted affected how many times you went to class, how you felt about doing certain subjects and other classwork on top of others. Like, it's so crazy to me that it got bad. I don't even know what happened to get me there, but it was all coming down. Everything that possibly could have been due was due in a week or two, and then I just put it off for so long, and then it just all hit me at once and I broke down. Oh my goodness. It was bad. Like, I was laying on the floor crying in the commons room, not like bawling my eyes up. And I was studying with a group of people, and they were like, "Zach, you wanna go get food?" I was like, "Yeah." Mind you, this was around midnight at the time. So we all hopped in a car, went downtown, went and got pelmenis, and just sat there and was like, this is outrageous. It wasn't like the next day I was like, oh, I'm gonna do all of it. It was more of a, okay, today I'll do this, I'll get this done, get it out of the way. The next day I'll do this, get it out of the way. The day after that, I'll try and do two things at once, make sure I'm ready for the exams. And then it kept on building on day after day after day, where I was able to just keep up, catch up, and then just keep it at a steady level to finish up the semester. So my first time going to the Learning Center, I was leaving my calculus class, and I was recommended that most students go there just because it's a nice place to study, it's a nice place to engage with other students, and get help if you need it from the tutors available there. It's never a scary place to go. The people there are so friendly and so nice, and they want to help you, and they want to let you engage in it and learn at your own pace as best as possible. But nowadays I go there with my study group to study other classes, to just engage in discussions and daily classwork. We just go there to be around each other, and we motivate each other to learn. So if I was studying by myself, it's usually a lot less structured. I don't have a lot of motivation to do it at the time, but it's a lot easier to get problems and homework assignments done with a group. Like, if I don't know something, I'll ask around. If they need help with other things, if I know it, I'm able to tell them how to go about it or explain it. But yeah, if I was alone and I didn't know something, I'd just put it to the side and not really worry about it until the next day. But in that moment, it's a lot easier to just ask who you're comfortable around, to ask them to help you. It makes me happy that I'm able to help other people learn even more. It might not always be the best advice, or I could be going about it wrong, but just that interaction, that's what I like and enjoy. And that's probably why I like group study sessions so much.
I have multiple reasons for returning to get my degree. One was that I don't like leaving things undone and wanted to finish my degree. But the second thing is that I have 6 children, and I wanted to be a good example to them and show them how important education is. But I'm at a point now where I still have 2 children at home, but they are actually taking classes here at the university. And I thought, oh, this could be a perfect time. I'll go to school with them. And now I'm an English major with creative writing emphasis. I think I recognized within the first 2 weeks of the semester that I felt I was in over my head and I needed help. It had been a long time since I'd written a thesis statement, and all of a sudden I submitted a paper for my distance writing 211 class, and I was not happy with the score I got back on it. I needed help, and I could see that I was struggling. I don't always like to admit that I don't know the answers or that I need help, but I know how important it is to go find the resource and then to use it. So the grade let me know that I needed to reach out to my professor and say, okay, this is who I am. This is what I'm battling with. What can you offer? And he's been very responsive all throughout the semester. I actually encouraged my high schoolers that are also taking classes here with me at the university to get into the Writing Center more frequently, and they kind of drag their feet and don't always want to. I used a little bit of coercion once and said, well, before you ask for special privileges on the weekend, you'd best make a couple appointments with the Writing Center and get there and see. I've been so impressed with some of the student tutors and the adults as well that they check on me periodically. Even if I said I was working independently, periodically before they're off of shift, I'll come by and just double check and see if there's something that they could help me with. I highly recommend for other students you get out and meet the academic advisors more than once if you need to. I had several meetings to help me decide what classes to take, talking about class load, to try to get a good idea, to be educated as to what was going to be expected of me and was I going to be able to handle the workload.
You grow a lot from your senior year of high school to the start of college. College is a very different ballgame. It's a very different field. And so I think a lot of students don't even know that they struggle, and just having the ability, the resource to talk to someone, you understand, oh wow, I really could benefit from this. There's been a few different services that I use regularly. I get a live scribe, which is a notebook and a pen that records everything that you're writing, as well as what the professor is saying. And after the lecture, when I go home to study, I'm able to click on my notes with the pen and it will go to exactly what the professor was saying in the exact moment that I was writing that in the notebook. It is so cool. So many people qualify to be able to use that while taking tests. I need to be in a very quiet, very inactive area where I'm not being distracted. That is another thing that really has helped me succeed. There's been moments where I did kind of feel guilty and ashamed, like I was getting special treatment. I remember there was this one time after my math final, and there was me and one other gentleman, and he was like, okay, time's up. And my professor was like, Felisha, would you like some more time? And I was like, yes, please. And the other student was like, oh, can I get more time? And my professor was like, well, do you have accommodations? He was like, no. And he was like, okay. But once I learned that there is a difference between the exact same treatment, there is a difference between everyone getting the exact same help because other students need more help than others or help in different ways. And that's the difference between equality and equity. Equity is when you give every single student what they need to succeed, and in that fashion, it is fair. I've learned that there's a lot of students that struggle like I do, and I feel like I would just want them to get to a place where they accept they don't have to be perfect and that it's okay to need a little bit of help. And I would hope that they had the courage to know that they deserve the help that they need to succeed, because accommodations doesn't mean that I'm getting a special treatment. It means that I'm getting the treatment that I need to be at the same level as everybody else, because equality and equity are totally different things. Equality means everyone gets treated the exact same way, but equity means everyone gets what they need to succeed. And students that don't think that they need things might not even understand that they are just withholding themselves from things that they really can do. And they need to understand that it's okay to ask for help, because then once they get to a place where they ask for help, there's a huge relief, and then you realize you weren't living up to your fullest potential.